Hey everybody, and welcome to Falcon Plays Risk of Rain. Now, I assure you right before we get started, let me just say that Risk of Rain is not going to necessarily knock out Spelunky from its time slot. Just think of it more as the network trying to experiment with new things, right? As Spelunky's been kind of delivering the news for the last, decade or so. It's kind of like John Beard and Kristen Devine back on Fox News, right? They kind of, you grew up watching them in the news if you watched the news. Apparently I was a weird kid that watched the news, which kind of explains why I'm so, not completely up there all the time, really issues and whatnot, but that's not the case altogether. So it's kind of like, Kristen Devine, John Beard, they're there all the time, but you kind of want to start attracting newer crowds, so you start, pushing like a newer face into a younger, more attractive Christine, or a younger, more attractive, John Beard, whatever, it's cool. John Beard was an attractive man, I'm sure, when he was younger. I don't remember that much to it, but, figure, either way. So essentially, they're still going to be there. Spelunky's still going to be there, but Risk of Rain is a game that I've actually been following for quite a long time now. Back in its early development, which, unfortunately I have a really terrible memory, it's probably a sign of old age or, early Alzheimer's or whatnot. It's not something to joke about, by the way, but, it's something I believe it was earlier this year or late last year when Risk of Rain started making its rounds, it's like kind of like a little sleeper, like Hindi type of thing going on, right? It's a game by just 2 college students, by the way, which was really impressive about it, right? They were actually working on this game as they were going to school. It's kind of like, yeah, well, I mean, we update the game every now and then, but, we're going to school, right? So it's kind of like something we're doing on the side, and it's kind of amazing because it's something that you're doing on the side, but it's still goddamn fun. It's just so goddamn fun is the problem. Not really the problem, it's a good thing, I should say. And then the music is done by another dude together. So basically, think of it as a 3-team type of ordeal at the most. I mean, the third dude just takes care of the music, which, by the way, is goddamn amazing. Believe me, that's going to be a highlight of the Let's Play for sure. But, 2 guys that kind of really worked on it, and then the third dude's kind of like all the music accounted for. But either way, the game just recently came out as a full-fledged release finally. It went into closed beta after a while, and I kind of lost track a bit. But now it's fully out, and it's kind of like, boom, there you go. So without further ado, let's just get started here. Alright, so as you can see, you start off with select a survivor. Right now, I probably took like 1 or 2 runs just to get accustomed because I haven't played this in a while, so I figured I was going to be really rusty. Right now, you start off with the Commando as the oldest survivor. As you proceed, you unlock a lot of the other characters. Back when I played this, when it was early on, I think we only had like 2 or 3 characters. The Commando, kind of a melee fighter, and I think there was a third one, I'm not entirely sure, right? So there's a lot more characters now that you could unlock, but that's something we have to do with this Let's Play, right? So for now, I'm going to start with the Commando, which is a basic kind of like range class. It's kind of like the easiest class imaginable. You can play with a gamepad, luckily for me, because, I am a PC plebe altogether. So as you can see right there, it'll tell you like the basic commands and whatnot. And already I'm getting initiated into some battles here. Alright, so as you can see, what Risk of Rain is, for those that don't know, is essentially, think of it as, I hate using the, okay, that was terrible. I hate using the expression roguelike too much, but essentially think of it as that, basically. You're gonna have a lot of runs in this game. Each run is gonna differ from one another. That's what I kind of really liked about it. It's something that kind of gives me entertainment. Like, nowadays, I kind of find it hard to really sink into a game that has, like, a really long kind of, like, storyline and whatnot. One of the reasons why I don't play JRPGs anymore like I used to back when I had, like, all the time in the world. Before we proceed on that tangent, though, this right here is going to be the teleporter. So essentially, think of Risk of Rain as a roguelike, each time you die, you start all over again, right? You proceed and you unlock items that logged into your monster logbook, your item logbook and whatnot, things like this. You could buy most of these items. The way you buy items is by killing enemies. And so you have a better chance at succeeding in the game if you have more items, more health, more leveling up, etc. Each monster drops level up points, experience essentially, and money for you to open these chests. Now, there's going to be areas like this where you have 325 things. You choose from one. So if I choose one of these guys, the other 2 are pretty much out of my league now, right? I can't get them anymore. Then you have monuments like this, which you essentially, in a sense, you offer up money and hope for something to happen, offer a chance of rewards. So here I dropped 17, I was like, sure, why not? And I got the Mystery Vial. This increases health regeneration, which is a really, really good item, believe me. There's going to be little to actual items to that recover your health in Risk of Rain, at least from my knowledge. Obviously, the game has been, a lot's been added to it since I last played it. Now, basically, as you can imagine, the Commando class is going to have well, let's say 4 skills. Essentially, you have your basic shooting ability, right? which is signified right here. Me as I fight this jellyfish over here. Jellyfish, you need to relax for a second. I'm trying to explain something to YouTube, and you're not really helping matters. So right there is your basic shot. That is basically your basic attack. You're not going to use any sort of cooldown abilities with that. You also have this rapid attack, which can stun enemies, as you saw right there. Try to show it off one more time. This right there that I did as roll is also another skill that you need to also have cooldown on. So let me do the fast attack. There you go. As you can see, that stuns the enemies a bit. That also requires a cooldown time, which is signified by your UI. You see those numbers counting down right there? Well, those are the cooldown time for your abilities and whatnot. Alright, so with Risk of Rain, you definitely want to mix your skills up. You know, it's basically, you gotta know when to use your skills properly and whatnot. You know, you have crowd control, you could do that to stun a few guys and get out of the way. The other skill that I wanted to mention was the roll, right? This right here that I just did is the roll attach, which lets you dodge basically all sorts of damage altogether. Really, really, really crucial, believe me. It's going to be one of the skills that you want to really work on. At least mastering, at least how to avoid damage. Let me go ahead and jump away here. Those big dudes could cross over big gaps now, so that didn't used to happen before, but apparently they've smartened up. Now, the rapid attack that stuns enemies, as you can see, will also shoot on opposite sides. So if there's enemies on either side of you, then it will. As you can see over to the left, I kind of stunned that guy off screen a bit. Well, it'll attack enemies on both sides of you, so that's a really good feature of it. The other one I've been using is this, which is the shotgun blast, obviously, and that one, as you can imagine, is great for crowd control as well, to hit everybody that you have lined up on one side. There you go. So, right now you're probably asking, well, if that's the case, then all you gotta do is just kind of level up. Ukulele, and his music was electric. I'm not entirely sure what that does, but I guess we'll find out once we look at the item log after we're done with this run. Now, as I mentioned, the thing about Risk of Rain here is that I'm getting kind of overpowered here by all these guys. You guys need to relax a bit, right? No, apparently, okay, the ukulele, apparently what it does is, I've seen they've been getting shocked on occasion, so I guess that kind of works out. His music was electric, and they have been electrified occasionally. Alright, get these guys out of the way. So apparently the ukulele is going to be like a passive skill. Most of the skills on your left, or those little icons you're seeing on the left side, the vial that I picked up for the health regeneration, and the ukulele, those are signified as passive skills, essentially. Think of it that way. Let me do this over here. Getting a little bit overpowered here by way too many guys. Guys, you need to relax for one moment as I try to alleviate my situation from like a million of you. Alright guys, how about like a fair fight for once? That'd be great. Alright, Beaver. I'm not entirely sure what these huge dudes are. They always look like, I guess, raccoons to me, but I'm not entirely sure that's what they are. They kind of open up down the middle, so I don't think they're raccoons essentially. I really wish they were. They'd probably be a lot more friendly if they were raccoons, even though raccoons tend to be really rabid and whatnot. Either way, so let's proceed here. We got that out of the way, at least to a degree. Let me get rid of a solo raccoon here. Shouldn't be that much of a problem by himself, as I'm not dodging when I should be. Alrighty, so let me go ahead and buy one of these. Let me get the mystery one. Over here we have 2 crowbars. I believe they're crowbars. I'm not entirely sure what those are for, but let's go with the mystery one instead. And here I got the prison shackles, which slows enemies on attack, which is really, really helpful. It's one of the abilities I do remember from the back in the beta days and whatnot. So, aside from what I've shown you so far, you're probably wondering, well, why can't you just essentially, what is the point, right? What are we trying to do altogether? Well, you're leveling up to a degree in order to access this, to activate the teleporter, which says, press X, or yeah, press X, and are you ready? It's kind of basically like a, old school DX type of thing. Are you ready? Either way, Triple H reference aside. Come over here, jellyfish, as I could kind of continue on my tangent here. Well, not my tangent. I'm not trying to get on the tangent of W wrestling where, I'm apparently a grown-ass man who still believes that wrestling's real or something. Alright, let me get you out of the way. So, you basically want to use these teleporters to teleport you to the next level. When you activate one of these, you will essentially be facing off with a boss. So let me go activate it here. I'm basically down to die right now just for the cause, essentially. Luckily for us, the Colossus is one of the easier bosses, it seems. He's rather slow. So here's what happens. So you activate the teleporter, right, to go on to the next level. You are supposed to survive for 90 seconds, right? And these 90 seconds, you're supposed to deal with the boss, and the last, I guess, batch of enemies will spawn during that time, I suppose I should say. Alright guys, you need to give me a second here. Alright, green, not really raccoon, but I thought it was raccoon. you will take quite a fucking beating, let me tell you. Alright, let me get through the Colossus here really quickly. Suddenly feel like I'm Wanda from Shadow of the Colossus here. Alright, dude, you need to... These jellyfishes are kind of the easiest enemies, yet somehow the most annoying. It's really quite impressive how that works. So over here, I've kind of cleared out. He spawns, the Colossus spawns little mini Colossi, which is fine. No big deal, really. What is he gonna do? You're so slow, bro. I just have to kind of walk like to the right. And by slow, bro, I don't necessarily mean the evolution of slow poke. That's a whole other thing altogether. However, what I've noticed that is essentially he kind of uses the little mini dude as a damage sponge, essentially, as you can see. But this is honestly one of the easier bosses that you can kind of get, so I kind of lucked out here. Now, you're probably thinking, well, this looks kind of relatively easy. Believe me, it's not. So here is basically the, I guess if you are not aware of it yet, but here is basically the coup d'etat of Risk of Rain altogether. Now, I'm not sure if you probably noticed if you've been looking at the basically the UI as I've been kind of messing around here. So right now it's telling me that I have remaining 38 enemies on screen. What I've done is I've survived the 90 seconds I was supposed to. And now what that means is I have to kill the boss first and foremost. And there you go, the boss is down indeed. Luckily, like I said, one of the easier bosses altogether. I really locked out there. I got the Colossus Neuro, increases health, regeneration, and armor. Increases health, regeneration, and armor. Alright, that's actually pretty goddamn good then. Let me get rid of this guy. So essentially, I survived the 90 seconds that I was supposed to. Now, enemies have stopped spawning altogether. However, here's the thing. Any enemy that you had on screen prior to you activating the teleporter, let me make this a lot easier on myself. You guys have no range except for the purple flames, so that's fine. Or not the purple flames. I'm colorblind, believe me. But you guys are good. So, all the enemies that were on screen, or not on screen, but in the level or the map altogether, you have to defeat them altogether before you proceed. And all the enemies that spawn while you were fighting the boss, you have to defeat. So, I've killed the boss. I'm good in that aspect, but I can't just leave now. I gotta continue on. Luckily, for after... Let me go ahead and get this. I got a lot of money, so let's go ahead and hopefully get experience from this. What else are we gonna get here? Nothing here. And a third time's the charm. And I got the meat nugget. Enemies drop chunks of healing meat, which can't be good. I mean, can't be bad altogether. Let me go ahead and do this one more time, and... Jesus Christ, I need $6 more, and, you know, you're kind of making me broke there for one item. I've kind of really bad situation for me there. Alrighty, so, what I was trying to get at before is the UI. Now, if you looked up to the upper right, here is basically the coup d'etat that I was trying to mention about Risk of Rain altogether. Now, if you've noticed, we started off in that difficulty, and it said at one point... It was said at one point, you need to not rear up on me like that, bro. Alrighty, no, I didn't say that altogether, but... Earlier on, when we first started, it said very easy, and as time has been progressing, right now it seems that we've been on this level for, 10 minutes roughly, just about. And as you can see, the difficulty is now medium. Now, why is that? Is it because I've been getting items? Is it because I've been, I triggered the boss? No, it has nothing to do with that. It actually has everything to do with the time displayed itself. So here's the kicker of Risk of Rain. The longer you are playing the game, the harder the game becomes. So, basically what it does, it kind of makes you levy whether do you really want to spend time leveling up, acquiring items, or do you just want to get through as quick as possible. So, it's basically a trade-off. Which one would better work out for you? Well, it depends a lot on your skill. It depends a lot on what items you get. It depends on a lot of, there's a lot of variables involved. It looks like I have 3 remaining enemies, which should probably be these guys here altogether. Okay, hey guys. Let me go ahead and daze you a bit. Dazed and confused. Let's see here. Not a great movie. Well, actually, it was not. It was an alright movie, I suppose. And there we go. So go to the teleporter or advance to the next level. Right now, it means that I've killed everybody. Now, I have the option to freely go about the stage and actually, spend a bit of my money. And I guess I should do that. What am I going to get here? A teddy bear? Tough times. Reduce incoming damage by 40%. That's actually good. So now I have the, like I said, the option. I have the map to myself now. I can do whatever I want. But again, my timer is not going to stop. Let me go ahead and do this, I guess. And let's get the cool shades, I guess. I forgot what these do. Cool shades do chance to do double damage. That's actually good. And you know what? Before we get out of here, I got Mike Tyson's glove, apparently. Chance to knock enemies backwards. Good. And let's get out of here. So after you're done with a level, you're going to lose all your money. So it's probably good in your interest to actually do. If you see any items around you that you could spend money on, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, you'll take your money away, but it does turn it into experience. So I guess it's a bit of a trade-off. Do you want more levels, or do you want, extra items and whatnot? So right now, we made it to the second level altogether. Here's where things start to get a little bit more difficult, as you can imagine, though. So as I said, the game is based on time, how long you take on a level and whatnot. However, here's the thing, that the time is cumulative, right? Basically, as you can imagine, I went to the second level now, and my time or my difficulty has not, as you can see, reset, right? We are still looking at medium difficulty and, you know, upwards to almost 11 types, you know, in terms of minutes. That is going to continue going and going until you die or until you beat the game, whatever comes first. You know, smart bet is on you dying, though. I pretty much have, I think I beat this game 2 or 3 times when it was back in closed beta. But again, that was really early on, you know, when a lot of the, I guess, item combinations you could get were really kind of overpowered. I remember golden guns being, like, ridiculous if you got quite a few of them to spawn. Okay, this is one of the most asshole enemies imaginable. You need to go away. So, as you can imagine, the longer you spend on a level, the harder the game gets. So that's basically where you have to make that decision. Do you want to spend time gathering items, leveling up to stand a better chance? However, at the same time, you're also risking the fact that the enemies are going to be a lot more difficult. Not only does it spawn more difficult enemies, but each enemy is going to have, like, you know, higher damage, more increased health, etc., etc. So right now, at least what I feel that I've had more success with is, I can't even buy that, it's too expensive. So I do need money. I need to start killing a few of these guys. You basically need to start weighing your options a bit, whether what is better for you. What I've felt's been, oh, Jesus Christ, I have never seen that before. That is terrifying. What in the world is that? Okay, I forgot that red dude could actually get up over here. Alright. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here, red dude. And apparently, if I'm right, that weird monstrosity has a range attack, so being up here isn't really the best situation for me. But at least we are getting a little bit more money. What I think personally works out the best is, maybe, you know, start up with a good amount of, I guess, a good spawn point in the map in the first level, right? And from then on, as you can see, this guy teleports around. That's why he's one of the more pain in the ass guys, because, you know, even if you range him away from you, he will teleport back on your asses. This guy just got knocked out, I think, by the Tyson glove, actually, which is pretty cool. Alrighty, you guys get up here. Okay, dude, you were supposed to stay with them so I could kind of, do a little crowd control on you. Alright, guys, you guys are taking a little, you guys are a little too friendly with my damage here. Alrighty, I really need a health item, by the way. There are going to be, basically, most of the items that I've acquired so far, as you can imagine, are passive abilities, which are fine. I love passive abilities altogether, but in occasion, you do need, like, an activated item. As you can see on my UI, where I have my skills activated and whatnot, there is an empty space where it says use. That's going to be one of the actual items that you activate yourself. The more prominent ones are going to be, like, ones, okay. Well, one of the most prominent ones is the fact that my difficulty has now been spiked too hard, so I'm only in the second level. And back in the beta game, in the beta version, there was 4 levels, so I'm not entirely sure that's increased at this point. I haven't necessarily done my math on that. And also, there's actually fall damage now, which there wasn't before. And there is a drone over there. Let's go ahead and activate the drone just to at least give you a little bit more variety in terms of what this game has. And it's going to be the missile drone. So let me activate the missile drone, and the missile drone's going to hang out with us, and he's going to be like the bro that you wanted all your life. And he's going to help you out by, you know, kind of like getting these dudes off your back a bit, which is good. Remember, I'm on difficulty hard, so it's probably in my best interest, even though I don't believe I am situated for it altogether, but finding a teleporter, perhaps, and just spawning the next boss. Otherwise, we're not going to make it too far here. I don't think I'm going to make it too far from here on, actually. I really want to get an active item that I could kind of... Oh, there is a teleporter, exactly what I needed. All right, so... We dealt with the Colossus in the first version, on the first level, I should say, which was luckily for us a lot easier. Really easy, as a matter of fact. I thought that the worm was easier, but now that I realize it's going to be the Colossus more than likely. So I could only hope for the worm on this level. So let's go ahead and activate this and see what spawns for us. Again, we're going to survive 90 seconds again. And we're going to deal with the Ancient Wisp, which is new to me altogether. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Here I thought I could just kind of range this guy, but that's not going to happen at all. Okay, and there is also a magma worm involved. Okay, cool. So this is exactly when, okay. When Risk of Rain starts fucking you over altogether. Let me get out of here, because I am... Guys, will you stop? As you can see, those monsters follow you as well. Magma worm and everything. I'm not really long for this world at this point, as you can imagine. Okay, what happened here was that since I've been taking long, the game gets more difficulty. How difficult? Well, I mentioned... Oh, there we go. Well, I mentioned you have broken every bone in your body. Well, that's going to happen, believe me. And I got a new record on purchases and whatnot. So, what happened here was essentially I took a long time. I mentioned that if the longer you take, the more enemies spawn, the harder they are, more DPS, more health. etc., etc. The game will also spawn bosses on you. The worm that you saw chasing me down was not the boss for this level, it was actually the Ancient Wisp, which is a new enemy for me. I've never dealt with that before, and that guy scared shit out of me because I thought I could just range him, and it was kind of like, nah, it's not gonna work. It doesn't matter if you're another platform, he's gonna spawn, you know, purple pillars of death, like I'm the fucking Norse god Thor and kill you. And that's exactly what happened there. And the worm also spawned because I've been taking too sweet of my time, and the difficulty got hard. So the game will spawn bosses on top of bosses in order to fuck you over. And that is what makes Risk of Rain really, really fun and makes you want to keep coming back for more. You want to beat it. You want to get further and further. You're not going to let this game do this to you, even though it necessarily did do it to me this time around. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and wrap up the first episode of Risk of Rain altogether. Think of this more as a kind of like an introductory type of thing. I wanted to just get into it and just do like, you know, nonstop, you know, just playing and whatnot. But I kind of really wanted to introduce the game before I kind of went into a big full Let's Play of it, which I will do, believe me. I fucking love this game altogether. And listen to that soundtrack, by the way. Goddamn amazing. So with that said, guys, we're going to wrap it up right here, and we'll pick it up next time and just kind of take it up really slowly, probably start messing around with different skills, unlockables, and everything like that. Today was just more of an introductory type of episode, in case if any of you weren't familiar with Risk of Rain. So once again, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the episode, and I hope you enjoyed the series altogether and stick around to watch some more. Until next time, guys.